Anger against police brutality and racial profiling continues to boil across America. Now, the Justice for All March, now going on in Washington, D.C., has drawn thousands of activists. Guyana Chichikan reports.
Here at the U.S. Capitol, thousands have marched calling for an end to impunity with which police use excessive force. They're chanting, "Hands up, don't shoot, I can't breathe." I can't breathe, of course, words Eric Garner pronounced moments before he was killed. What people saw in the video of Eric Garner's killing is that you don't have to be threatening for the police to use excessive force. Eric Garner didn't look threatening at all. What these people call for is justice in many other cases as well.
Stand together peacefully and tell them what we want, give them our demands, and I think them seeing us as a unit peaceful, I think that would open their eyes and their minds, and then change will come from there.
I would love to see people from every city go to Ferguson and rebuild the businesses, because I think one of the things that troubles me is the way that conservatives and people who don't see the whole picture can use the unhealthy anger that was expressed that way against the movement.
They say it's too easy for the police to claim they feared for their lives to get away with killings. And they feel prosecutors are not doing a good job to get these officers charged. They also believe it is about race. They believe police are more likely to view black men as threatening, and perceptions and presumptions have led to tragic cases. Although it is very difficult to prove racial bias, but people here demand an end to racial profiling. What is encouraging is that there are many white people in this march. This gives hope that this will not turn into just black versus white issue. In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chagan, RT.
Similar rallies are taking place in a number of cities across the country to demand justice for victims of police violence. Demonstrations have been relatively peaceful so far, but several arrests were reported in Boston. Meanwhile, in New York, Brooklyn Bridge was shut down after protesters blocked traffic there. Alexei Yaroshevsky reports from the city.
They call it a millions-man march in New York City. I'm not sure if there are millions now in the streets, but definitely tens of thousands. And it's the biggest protest we've seen so far regarding the grand jury decision not to indict the police officer involved in the death of Eric Garner. As you can hear, the protesters are chanting "Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot." They're still angry over that decision. They are angry that nothing is being done, and the decision by the Attorney General of the United States to launch a federal investigation does not seem to appease them. You can see for yourself, the crowd is literally endless. It's really hard to see even the end of this crowd, which stretches for miles down the 6th Avenue in New York. And again, this is the biggest protest we have seen so far. The police presence here is huge, but there have been no clashes, no confrontations between the protesters and the police. So far, it's been only about chanting and delivering their message. One of those messages actually is that the chief of NYPD, Breton, must be fired. And this is the initial demand of the protesters. This is something they are insisting on. And until this demand is met, we understand that they will be continuing to take people into the streets. We will see whether those protests will result in any confrontations and scuffles like it happened last week when more than 300 people were arrested, but so far it's been very peaceful and very organized. Alexei Yaroshevsky, RT, reporting from New York City.